The world is made of wind and grass. It ripples under a sun so bright it bleaches the color from the sky. The man, Kale, lies flat, the scent of crushed thyme and dry earth filling his nostrils. His knuckles are white around the yew-spear shaft. Its flint point a shard of darkness against the yellowing plains. Below him, in the gentle basin of the valley, moves the herd. Great minus horned aurochs, sturdy bison, the true wealth of this life. These are the familiar titans of the age. The Pleistocene megafauna that are both the clan's greatest threat and its most profound gift. His two brothers are ghosts in the grass to his left, signaled only by the twitch of a hawk feather tied to a stick. For these Homo sapiens, this is the rhythm of existence, the patient watch, the silent signal, the explosive charge that is a prayer for sustenance. This is the peak of their world, a delicate balance of skill and fortune that has sustained their human ancestors for generations. A tremor runs through the ground. It is not the familiar shudder of a herd's passage, but a deep, resonant hum, as if a giant has drawn a breath beneath the bedrock. Cal presses his ear to the soil. The hum is everywhere. The aurochs stop grazing, their great heads lifting, nostrils flaring at a scent no one can place. The birds fall silent. Even the ceaseless wind seems to hold its breath. Kale meets his brother's eyes across the distance. A shared look of confusion, of a deep and primal unease. The rules are changing. To the west, where the sun begins its long slide, the familiar silhouette of the distant, sleeping mountain is gone. In its place, a bruise of blackened purple boils into the sky, climbing higher and faster than any storm cloud they have ever witnessed. It spreads like a stain, a silent, ravenous thing devouring the blue. There is no thunder, only the sickening, silent speed of its ascent. Then, the sound arrives. It is not a crack or a roar, but a physical blow, a wave of pressure that flattens the grass and punches the air from their lungs. It is the sound of the world tearing. The brothers abandon the hunt without a thought, scrambling upright, their only instinct to run, not from a predator, but from the sky itself. Back at the limestone overhang that is their home, the clan gathers. Children, once chasing insects in the sun, cling to their mother's legs. The old woman, Rosa, her face a map of seasons, stares west, her hand shielding eyes that have seen everything. Until now. The great black cloud has formed a ceiling, and beneath it, the light begins to fail. The brilliant afternoon fades into a sickly, orange twilight, then to a deep, featureless gray. The sun is a pale coin, then a memory, then nothing. Day fine. Gritty powder begins to fall, soft as mist, coating their heron skin. It tastes of sulphur and stone. It is the mountain, now become dust, falling upon them. In the sudden, profound cold, they retreat under the rock, huddling together. The fire, once a simple comfort for the coming night, is now the only star in a universe that has gone dark. The familiar world is gone. The era of prehistoric life they knew ended not with a roar, but with a silent, suffocating blanket of grey. There is no sun. There is no moon. Time is measured now by the fire. It is either fed or it is dying. The world has shrunk to this circle of flickering orange light and depressing, absolute darkness beyond. The fine ash falls without end, a soft grey snow that never melts, muffling all sound. It coats the sleeping forms huddled in their furs, dust the last strips of dried by sun meat hanging from the rock, and grits between their teeth. A constant cough echoes in the cavern, a dry, rasping sound from the lungs of the young and the old. The cold is a thief. It creeps in from the grey wasteland outside, stealing the warmth from their bodies, the life from the fire, the hope from their hearts. This new chapter in human evolution is written in shivering shadow. The pile of dried meat, once a proud testament to a successful season, is now a handful of scraps. Kale watches as Osa divides a single strip into 5 pieces for the smallest children. Their hunger is a quiet, persistent thing, a hollowness in their eyes that gnaws at the adults more than their own empty bellies. This is the core of their community, an unspoken law of prehistory. The future, embodied in the young, is fed forth. The hunters chew on strips of hardened leather to fool their stomachs, the taste of fat and salt a ghost on their tongues. They are trapped. The world they knew how to read the tracks, the trails, the habits of the herds has been erased, buried under a uniform shroud of grey. To stay is to starve. To leave is to walk blind into a silent, alien landscape where the predators, equally desperate, are the only certainty. Kale sits near the fire. The warmth on his face a stark contrast to the chill on his back. He is not idle. In his hands are a smooth river stone and a long core of black flint. With a sharp, practiced strike, he detaches a perfect, leaf-minus thin sliver of stone, and a Yarinakam blade, long and lethally sharp, far superior to the chunky hand-minus axes of his ancestors. He works with a quiet intensity that holds the darkness at bay. This is not just Hominid making. It is an act of defiance. It is the focused application of a mind against a mindless catastrophe. He is not just making a spear point. He is shaping a response. Another hunter, Rory C., is packing dried moss and animal fat into hollowed minus-out stone bowls, preparing primitive torches that will spit and sputter, buying them precious meters of sight in the oppressive gloom. Osa approaches Kale. She says nothing, but dips her fingers into a small leather pouch. She brings them out, stained a deep, earthy red, with her tongue. She draws a line of ochre across his brow and down his cheeks. The pigment is a startling slash of color in the monochrome world. It is a mark of purpose, a ritual that binds the hunters to the clan they will leave behind. It is a reminder of their shared blood and their shared fate. A practice deeply rooted in the story of ancient humans. The choice is made. 3 of them will go. They will walk into the grey, not knowing if they are hunting for food or simply choosing a different way to die. They return as ghosts from the grave. 3 figures, staggering out of the swirling ash. Their faces gaunt and smeared with grime. It has been for days. The clan had begun to count them among the dead. Kale is in the lead, but he leans heavily on his spear. He carries no meat. None of them do. A collective despair, cold and sharp, settles over the small group huddled by the fire. The last gamble has failed. But then Rory C. stumbles forward and unslings a stiff hide bundle from his back. It falls open, revealing not the rich, red flesh of bison, but the pale, silver bodies of 3 enormous fish. They are alien things, with vacant eyes and mouths agape, but they are food. As the unfamiliar smell of roasting fish fills the air, Kale speaks. His voice is a hoarse rasp. He tells them of the endless, dead plains, of bison skeletons half-minus buried in the ash. The herds are gone, but he speaks of a discovery. A day's walk to the north, they found a wide, shallow river, choked with ash but still flowing, and in it, these fish, sluggish and easy to spare. This is the first piece of the new puzzle. The second is what lay beyond it. After crossing, they climbed a ridge, and for a moment, the eternal grey had seemed thinner, and they had smelled it on the wind. Not the sulphur of the high peaks or the sterile dust of the plains, but a new scent, wet, sharp, and alive, soaked. The clan is faced with a choice that redefines the very meaning of existence. Their entire hominid history is rooted in this place. This overhang, these hunting grounds. The spirits of their ancestors are etched onto the cave walls in faded ochre. To leave is to sever themselves from their past, from their identity. To stay is to live for a few more weeks on borrowed fish, waiting for a son that may never return. Usa, the old woman, looks from the strange food to the faces of the children, and she understands. Their subsistence strategy must change, or they will perish. Their knowledge, their traditions, their entire world was built for the sun. A new world demands a new kind of human. She rises on stiff legs, walks to the back of the cave, and retrieves a small bundle of carefree wrapped embers from the heart of the fire pit that clans eternal flame. She hands it to Kale. The decision was made. They leave at the greyest hint of what should be done. They take nothing that is not essential for the journey, their collection of ancient tools. Flint knives, scrapers, and the precious new spear points. They wear their warmest hides. Each adult carries a torch of packed fat and a share of the remaining food. A child cries. A thin, desolate sound in the immense silence. Another clings to a small, smooth stone, the only toy they will carry. As they step out from under the familiar shelter, they do not look back. To look back is to invite a grief too heavy to carry. They are a single, dark line of desperate life, moving through a landscape of ash, following the ghost of a scent, walking toward a promise as thin and brittle as a fish's bone. We pull back, and the small clan shrinks, becoming a mere smudge of movement against the vast, monochrome canvas of a continent in trauma. Their story is not unique. Across thousands of kilometers, other small pockets of humanity face the same twilight, the same suffocating dust. The evidence uncovered by archaeology tells a fractured story of this great diamine of settlements abandoned, of a genetic bottleneck that squeezed our species to the brink of extinction. Most will fail. They will die in their caves, waiting for a world that has already vanished. But this small group, and others like them, chose to walk. Their survival was not a victory, but a brutal transaction. They traded their history, their home, and their certainty for a single, desperate chance. This is the engine of our ascent, the willingness to wager everything on the foresight of the few, held together by the unspoken trust of the many. That hard choice, made in the cold dark under a sky of ash, is the inheritance that beats in our own hearts. It is the instinct that whispers to us when the lights go out, get up, gather the embers, and walk. I am the chronicler, and the silence of the past is my canvas. What terror awaits when the predator you hunt has learned to hunt you back?